horror, a genre that contains stories and visuals that rival Hollywood filmmaking, a genre that has been able to keep a loyal audience of horror-loving enthusiasts that wait months for a new episode to decode. And yet it is also a genre that is filled with creator controversy and frustrating narratives that can be hard to follow. The genre really exploded with popularity around 2018 or 2019 and has reached peak popularity from 2020 to the beginning of 2023. Ever since then, however, it has been on a steady decline, with the quality of work slowly becoming less and less passable for audiences. What made the genre so popular to begin with? What makes a good analog horror anyway? Why has the genre been struggling even with talented creators putting their heart and soul into their work? Welcome, my friends, to the world of analog horror. The first form of analog horror was born on January 15, 2009 by a creator named Cole3. The video, No Through Road. This video showed us camcorder footage from a group of 4 boys driving around the UK. Immediately from the start, you can see elements that are almost required to have an analog-like feel. The constant droning of static sound, the little sounds made during camera movement, the grainy camera quality.
The whole farm was in the news.
All of these elements add to that feeling of uneasiness as the video goes on. The atmosphere feels relatable, like you've done this with your friends and would act the same way.
Isn't that because it will actually happen?
What does the sign say?
It says,
we need Stevenage.
It says Walken, Baddington. That is no... I don't even know where that is. That's nowhere near us.
Right, let's just go ridiculous. I've never heard either of those places.
Someone tell me a joke to cheer me up.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
I don't know, I'm really lost. We are actually now lost.
We pulled over because you know where we are, and we've been driving down this road for about a fucking hour now.
James's GPS on his phone stopped working.
All this helps set the tone and enhances what is already a pretty scary situation.
Just don't sit here, I don't want to sit.
Oh, for fuck's sake. What? James?
Point the camera at me.
James, just give me the...
What are you doing? Turn it back on.
It's not me.
I can't...
Turn the bloody lights on! What? No! What are you turning on?
I think I'm okay.
No, please! No! Please!
The video is like the great-great-grandfather for all the other series that I'm going to talk about. I think it is still worth watching, even all these years later. But this didn't make analog horror popular. No, the real spike in popularity came from 2 series I'm sure you are all familiar with. Local 58 and Gemini Home Entertainment. Now, for the sake of time, I won't be diving into the complicated lore and story of these series, although if you do want to see that, I recommend subscribing. I will instead be analyzing one video from each series and detailing what made it so popular at the time, starting with Local 58 and the video Contingency Plan. The video plays a local broadcast that suddenly gets hijacked. The broadcast states that the United States has been taken over by something. The message acts as a call to arms and asks the citizens of the United States to keep on the spirit of America. They can do this by, unconventional means. The broadcast asks the viewer to grab their firearms and point the barrel of the gun at the roof of the mouth. It states, there is nothing to fear. Join your family, your neighbors, and your God. Law enforcement has been released and will force you to do this. The tape also talks about the victory position, where you're supposed to go out to your front lawn, lie face up with arms and legs spread out like a starfish, and wait. Truly some great advice for Americans on how to keep the country's spirit alive. The broadcast tells the viewer to take care of women and children first, as well as infants and pets. Yeah, pretty heavy stuff for our first series. And that is just one aspect of this video that makes it surprisingly terrifying. It really makes you think about the possibility of this actually happening. What if another country did invade the United States and they won? Something like this would probably play out and be broadcasted to everyone's TV. It would be insurmountable chaos. This video really shook me to my core, and I can't really explain why. It's just something about the music and the messages that pop up and the themes portrayed that really scare me. Moving on to Gemini Home Entertainment. I think it's time we learn about how to defend ourselves against some home invaders. Let's give it a watch. Okay, nothing so far. Locate prey. Are the home invaders now prey? Yeah, something seems off, and this revelation is what makes this first part of the video so terrifying. We, as the viewer, think that this is supposed to be a guide on how to defend ourselves from home invaders, but in actuality, it is a guide for creatures on how to break into someone's home. The second half of the video transitions into more VHS found footage, with the protagonist exploring a house that seems to be infested in some sort of red vine infection that has spread throughout the house. This section adds tension not with music, but lack thereof. The absence of sound, aside from the footsteps and the VHS static, helps to set, again, the atmosphere inside the house. I do wish one thing was better, and this will be fixed in other series. It's the final scare. The main protagonist scares off some spider creature that we never fully see. But he ends up just getting killed with no real sounds aside from floorboards creaking and breaking. It feels like an anticlimactic end to the video, and the tension was kind of wasted. However, it is still a prime example of a good early analog horror piece, and I can forgive that mistake. These two series helped to turn more heads to analog horror in its early years. Channels like The Game Theorists and Nexpo made full timeline breakdowns of the series and theorized about what would happen in the next upload. All this initial popularity slowly died down around 2018-2019. But soon, this subgenre would see a burst of popularity, never before seen with internet horror. If Gemini and Local 58 make you think that analog horror was just a passing fad, the Mandela Catalog and the Walten Files show that there were some Hollywood-level talent lurking around cyberspace. They've been able to take what makes analog horror so unique and scary and amplify the 1980s look and feel. Gemini and Local 58 were more focused on television broadcasts and letting the viewer infer what is happening, while the Walten Files, and especially the Mandela Catalog, show you people's experience with the hostile creatures of their world. Take the Mandela Catalog Volume 1. I will be using the restored version as it makes more sense in the overall narrative.
We are currently receiving countless reports regarding unidentified hostile organisms that we will refer to as alternates. Until we have a complete understanding of the threat, it is important to stay home, lock all doors and windows, and have access to a loaded firearm or other ranged weapon at all times.
The video begins with a message from the Department of Temporal Phenomenon, explaining that there are these creatures called alternates. They are capable of looking identical to you or having impossible features.
You will know if an alternate exists based solely on their physical characteristics. If you see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide. If you see a person with any sort of biologically impossible characteristic, run away and hide. If an alternate manages to enter your home, refrain from any kind of communication or contact. These intelligent life forms utilize elements of psychological warfare to take advantage of their victims. While we heavily discourage any kind of contact or communication with an alternate, we make excuses for attempts at executing them yourself.
The video then gives us the think principle. However, the only one I care about is the letter K. Know your place in reality. To a first-time viewer, they could interpret this as just a reminder for themselves to know where they should be in reality. But for someone who understands the lore of the series, it can mean something very different. That is why pilots and remakes of videos in a series can work so well. It can reinforce themes and ideas, or introduce completely new ones, or get rid of older ideas and themes. We get a look at what the different alternates look like. Some are more unique than others. We were then shown a video call between two people, Mark Heathcliff and Cesar Torres, who has an oddly unsettling smile. I don't really know what it is, but his smile, it creeps the hell out of me. This is a prime example of something that is often used in analog horror, and that is called the uncanny valley. The uncanny valley is a feeling that people get when they look at something that resembles a human, but doesn't feel realistic. Another reason why the concept of the alternates feels so lifelike and unsettling.
Hey, it's Caesar. I hope it's not too late.
No, it's fine, don't worry. What's up, are you alright?
Yeah, it's not me, it's my mom. She's knocked out cold and I have no idea why. I'm on my way to the ER, but could you do me a favor?
Yeah, of course. What is it?
I just need you to come over and turn on the cameras we have set up. You know the ones that we installed after we arrived?
After the phone call, Mark goes to Caesar's home to turn on some cameras. But he doesn't realize that something has followed him home.
I have a gift for you. I have a present. I have a surprise.
It traps him in his room and begins mimicking voices, which is something I've always been afraid of and had nightmares about as a kid. Mark eventually can't take it anymore, and he opens the door and fires a shot off.
You fucking bastard!
The date at the bottom of the video changes to bad decision mark, which I think is an amazing creative edit. This whole scene is able to build up tension even when nothing is happening. You don't know what the alternate looks like, or what it can do, and the fact that it can mimic voices to mess with your mental state is horrible. No wonder Mark decided enough was enough and took the shot that sealed his fate. The last thing I want to cover about this upload is the instructions given to law enforcement about how to handle an encounter with an alternate. The video states to not help anyone who is reporting an encounter, even if their screams are frantic. Reassure the caller that help is on the way. You can hang up when they stop responding to your questions. This concept is, well, I'll say it again, horrifying. Shocking, I know. But the fact that even the police, usually the one force that is supposed to help people, is being told by higher ups that it is not worth the risk to help someone who is being attacked by an alternate. This shows how dangerous and terrifying the world of the Mandela Catalog truly is. Alternates are not the only danger you have to be aware of. Animatronics are pretty scary too. Welcome to Bond's Burgers, a magical place full of food, fun, and freakishly large animatronics based on animals. Welcome, my friends, to the Walten Files. Inspired by the hit indie game Five Nights at Freddy's, this series in particular masters the art of combining instructional tapes, like in Gemini home entertainment, with the found footage feeling found in the Mandela Catalog and No Through Road. And one section I want to look at in particular is the last tape in the Relocate Project upload. In this tape, there is a group of facility caretakers that are staying over at a facility that holds all the old animatronics and merchandise that was associated with Bond's Burgers. The three caretakers, Kevin, Hillary, and Ashley, find a key that doesn't seem to open any doors inside the facility.
Look at this key.
What?
Have you noticed how the company gives us this tiny key but never mentioned its purpose?
You're just overlooking stuff.
I mean, why would they give us a key with no use whatsoever? Exactly. It has to be for something interesting.
Maybe, but we're running out of time. Just focus on finishing these robots by tomorrow.
Right. Good night.
Ashley, curious about it, goes out at night alone and finds a door that opens.
I could save the project. I was sure this going to see you guys once you wake up. I know you guys told me not to wander around, but I genuinely think this small key could be a lifesaver. Took me a while, but I realized the key leads to this door, labeled back doors. It seems like a small area, so I'll just go take a little peek, see if I can find anything interesting, and then go back. Simple. This is bigger than I thought. I don't think I have enough time, so I'll just try and peek random doors and see what's inside.
Before she even enters the last door, however, she finds old merchandise and a strange-looking gray rabbit doll that is relevant to the overall narrative, although I will not be talking about that today. She finds the last door and finds a clown animatronic with a cassette player inside its stomach.
This is the last door. I've never seen this clown thing before. There's absolutely no way I'm getting close to that thing. I'll probably wait till you guys see this video and come down here with me so we can take a close.
She finds a tape and puts it into the stomach.
I guess it said it's used for birthday parties, like, you know, play a customized tape or something? I don't know. But we're about to find out.
Jack, Susan, Charles, Rosemary, Sophie.
Jack, Susan, Rosemary, Charles, and Sophie. The screen then cuts to black, and we can hear Ashley's muffled voice, and it lets out a terrifying, blood-curdling scream. The video cuts to Ashley's face becoming more and more distorted as we can hear her faint screams in the background. The clown animatronic then appears again.
I'm Billy, the funny movie clown. Do I see you, son? If not, then we're in the line, those oops, they lost, they go now.
takes off his face and reveals that Ashley has been stuffed inside the animatronic with a hidden message popping up. No one else noticed that she was missing, and they couldn't hear her screams. Yet another terrifying concept. Being left by your own friends, even though you're still there and you need help. The visuals are what does it for me in this upload. The artwork is so well done, and the detail in every single shot is incredible. The hidden message at the end gives even more lore if you want to look for it, and even leads to an unlisted video. And this is just one section of the overall episode. I will be doing a full breakdown of the series once it is finished, so if you would like to see that, subscribe. These two series are a perfect representation of the 2020 to 2021 style of analog horror, more focused on combining found footage with TV programs to give the feeling like you are watching some cursed VHS tape, instead of a regular TV broadcast that gets hijacked. And I'm just scratching the surface of this time period. I haven't even mentioned series like the Baddington tapes, Needle Mouse, and other phenomenal series. I only chose these two because they are the most popular from this period, and they have some key features that some of the other series lack. However, there are some flaws that I would have to point out. For one, I feel that both of these series are a product of their time. They are not as scary as they were when they first came out. Now, you could say that's just because I've seen them multiple times, but I have asked people if they find it scary on a first time viewing, and they don't say that it is. They just don't seem to get scared. And as we'll see in just a moment, the next era of analog horror dials the scare factor up to 11. Oh, Greylock. How I misjudged you. I didn't necessarily find it scary or disturbing enough. Yeah, not my brightest moment. Greylock focuses more on telling a story with horrifying elements than just throwing out jump scares and focusing on the plot later. It might not seem as scary as you think on a first watch, but as you dive further and further into the rabbit hole, the ideas and images you start to get in your head begin keeping you up at night. A perfect example of this is tape number 12, and actually the most recent upload, Waking Your Subconsciousness.
Greetings, and welcome to the second video program in the Preconditional Protocols and Orientation video system for Unit 13, TF2, Waking Your Subconscious. This video cassette has been specially designed to utilize powerful psychological exercises, along with cutting-edge technology and your own brain's neuroplasticity, to allow Unit 13 to access the deepest energy potential of your incredible mind. This will be required to increase the likelihood of prime-form cognigenesis. Before we begin, let's go over the required check.
The video acts as a sort of test to help you sleep better, but as you get further and further into the test, things begin to act up. A strange shadow creature appears and gets closer and closer after each question or task. The test begins to ask stranger and stranger questions. The test style of the tape changes to the common camera found footage of someone surveying over a woman named Charlotte.
Yes, hello, this is Troy with Evervigil Security. Am I speaking with Charlotte Melgren?
Yes. What happened this time?
Miss Melgren, we've detected some unusual activity at Forever Friends Kennels. Our system alerted us that kennel door 1 was open and enclosed unexpectedly, followed by a power outage. Is it correct that your primary residence is the first unit at Forever Friends?
Yeah, but okay, so I'm not the one who got the security system. It was my dad. So I don't know if there's some way to fix this or whatever, but you guys have called me in the middle of the night like 5 times in the past couple of weeks, and it's all turned out to be false alarms. Every time.
I'm so sorry about that, ma'am. I can take a look into why that might be happening if you'd like. But
As you can see, Charlotte is very agitated and confused, and I don't blame her. She has just been woken up in the middle of the night by some stranger that is reporting something that has been going on for weeks without any sign of danger. She insists on going to check on the house herself, something that will lead to her undoing.
Children, we strongly advise against going outside or into the kennels, especially with the power outage. We can call to have a police officer dispatched, and they can make sure it's safe before you...
Wait, hold on. Is there any way we don't have to do that? I have to be up at 6, and the last time it took them over an hour to get here. For nothing. Please.
Ma'am.
Like I said, this has happened a ton of times, and plus the dogs aren't even barking. If someone was in there, they'd be going crazy by now.
Ma'am, I could get in a lot of trouble if anything happened, and I didn't call anyone. It's company policy.
How about this? I'll keep you on the phone while I go, okay? I'll switch to my cordless and everything. If anything happens at all, you can call the police.
Miss Milgren.
I will even grab my flashlight. Please. I have a lot going on tomorrow, and I really just want to get back to sleep.
Just let me at least check tonight's footage to make sure everything looks okay first, all right?
Yeah, of course. Go for it. The basement. But everything seems fine.
I'm really not sure this is a good idea, Miss Milgren. Listen, something's wrong with the recordings I'm seeing of your home.
What do you mean wrong?
Honestly, I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking at here. It seems like the camera's glitched out or something, but the previous calls you've been getting, they weren't false alarms. Yeah, again, I'm not sure what's going on here, but something's been stalking around your property for a while now. I'm not sure how the previous people who called you didn't notice.
Okay, something like what, an animal or?
No, well, I don't know actually. I just think you should go back to your house, okay? Please.
Like, at all. Like, not even their eyes. It's like, oh my God, it's like they're fucking dead, but they're not.
What the fuck?
What?
Miss Milgren, you need to get out of there and return to your house immediately. I'm sending your information to the police right now.
What's going on?
Get the hell out of the kennel,
okay,
now!
Fuck, I'm leaving.
What was that? Are you okay? Charlotte, are you okay?
It ripped my flashlight.
Charlotte?
It ripped my flashlight. It's gone. It's gone. Something ripped it out of my hand. I can't see anything. It makes no sense. Nothing is making sense. I have no clue where I am. It's so dark. I can't tell if it's really this dark or if I'm blind.
Breathe, Charlotte. Breathe. You need to try and stay as calm as you possibly can. Listen, if it's that dark, whatever's in there probably can't see you either, okay? So it's important that we stay very quiet until the police arrive. Very quiet.
Okay.
Okay, good. Stay right where you are. Keep your back against the wall. All right, the officer's just down the road right now. You're going to be okay. Now listen, I'm going to stop talking so we can be completely quiet. But no, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere until you're safe.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have listened to you.
It's all okay. We're going to get you out of there. Now, no more talking.
I think my skin is moving.
Now, what makes this scene one of the scariest in the entire series is not the monster that is looking for or the incredible sound design, but it's actually the lack of vision. We, the viewer, can't see what is happening. Therefore, we can only use our minds to interpret what is happening. And that's the scariest part. Us humans tend to overthink things. So when we are given traits of a creature that we can't see, we let our mind create the image for us. And that image is wildly different for everyone. That is why I highly recommend you watch this video for yourself. It's a personalized experience that I would hate to have spoiled for you. There are a few more things I would like to highlight. As with all good analog horrors, the scares in the atmosphere really help to enhance the experience. Background noise is awesome, and the final few minutes of the tape are an amazing way to cap off an episode.
Lucky, and embracing your darkest urges as a part of yourself is the only way to live a fulfilling life. Testing complete.
That about sums it up for Greylock. Stick around if you guys want to see a full breakdown on that. Alright, up next we're going to your local Chuck E. Cheese knockoff. Five Nights at Freddy's has been a staple in the analog horror scene with creators like Squimpus McGrimpus, Spectre, Baddington, and many, many more. However, there is one creator that I think nails the darkest bits of the FNAF lore, and that creator is Valox. Just the raw talent that is put on display in his videos is incredible. It goes far beyond any other creator. I've decided to look at Birthday Boy, as I feel out of all the videos in this video, this one is the most tragic. The video is essentially all about one child. This child was part of the 5 missing children that disappeared in the Freddy Fazbear location.
I know you can't hear me, Jeremy. But I miss you every day. God, I miss you every day. "15 years is... It's a long time. And it's difficult for me to find closure when you were just taken from me so suddenly. I miss you so much. Oh God. Mom and Dad miss you too. Dad couldn't handle himself at the funeral. He had to step out.
No one ever found their bodies. The child's sister, Vanessa, can't seem to find closure, knowing that her brother's killer is still out there. Speaking of Vanessa, the voice acting in this video is absolutely phenomenal. Props to Bubble Pop for extremely talented voice acting. It is very hard to find the right voice actor to fit a role, especially for something like a YouTube analog horror video, but Bubble Pop nails it here. You can just feel the raw emotions coming out of her. And this is one of the only videos I've ever watched that has genuinely made me cry. I'm not joking.
Why would somebody do that to you, Jeremy? I'm gonna find him, Jeremy. I'm gonna find him. So that everybody can finally find some kind of closure. So nobody else has the same fate as you. Because no child deserves that.
And then that sadness quickly turns to anger as you come face to face with William Afton in the spring Bonnie suit with Vanessa's dead brother in the background. It makes you angry, it makes you want to hurt him, it makes you want to get revenge for him. The jump scare caught me off guard at the end, and then the ending where Bonnie opens his mouth to reveal the kid stuck inside. Just caps off the video amazingly. A perfect way to end it. A lot of Valox's content is like this. Extremely high quality with amazing storytelling. This 4-minute upload has a better viewing experience than some of Hollywood's greatest movies. That might be a hot take, but I don't really think it is. At least modern Hollywood anyway. The only critique I could really give was I wish it was longer. This upload is probably my favorite out of all the videos I'm talking about today. Just everything about this upload is amazing. Well then, wraps up that section. It's funny. I love how in the beginning I talked about there were some bad series, but so far I haven't seen any. And there we go. Me and my big mouth. Well, guess there's no helping it. You know, if you had told me that there would be an analog horror about some serial killer that kills his victims in the most inhumane way possible and then draws their self-portrait, I would have called you a fucking madman. Let's get this section over with. Uraban Spooks, ladies and gentlemen. If you've ever dipped your toes in the world of analog horror recently, you would know this is one of the most disgusting and vile series on YouTube as of the time of writing. I don't even need to pick out one specific video because all of them have the same vibe. A serial killer is going around killing people and drawing a painting of them and leaving at the crime scene for the police. It's an interesting concept, but the thing is, the description of the victim is the most disgusting and vile part. In the video Lighthouse, police discover that a local police officer and his family have gone missing. When they look through the officer's house, they find the police officer's 2-month-old daughter hanging from the closet with the painting titled Long Neck Angel. Yeah, it's that kind of series. And from there, it gets even worse. You have a boy's bottom half and a girl's top half sewn together, a man who had his wife's fetus shoved into his mouth, Jesus Christ, choking him to death, and a painting depicting a child being, oh my god, horrible. When I initially saw this series, I thought it was awesome. I love dark themes and topics, and this is right up my alley. But as I reviewed the series more and more, the more I began to understand what makes a good analog horror versus a bad analog horror. The painter focuses on shock factor to scare the viewer instead of a creepy concept or unique twist on an already existing one. And while that can be good if a narrative or actual plot was present, that sadly does not exist in the series. Which is a shame because Uraban Spook seems like he has talent. His paintings are absolutely horrifying, and if he dedicated time to flush out a narrative, it could have turned out to be an amazing series like the Walten Files or even Greylock. But unfortunately, I highly doubt that's gonna happen. And with that last disturbing series, we come to the modern day. Now, analog horror doesn't hold nearly as much popularity as it did back in 2020 or 2021, 2022, but there are still some great series lurking around the next dark corner. But on top of all of that, there is a ton of series that can be great. They just need better visuals, or a better story, or better sound design, or better everything. I think the main problem that trumps all these other issues, though, is the lack of purpose. A prime example of this is the King Kong analog horror. Now, there should be no disrespect towards the creator, and no one should be harassing them for their work, or for anyone's work for that matter. You can like the series if you want. That's your opinion. I'm just giving out criticisms that creators can improve upon their already existing work. Now, I do believe, however, that this series wanted to follow the man in the suit craze that happened a little while back. The Man in the Suit is a Godzilla analog horror. Yes, you heard that right. A Godzilla analog horror. It's crazy. The Man in the Suit exploded in popularity, and many copycat channels began to pop up. While I don't think the King Kong one is necessarily a copycat, there are certainly some similarities between the two, almost to the point that I feel like they're part of the same series. This doesn't just apply to small series like this either. Baddington, one of the greatest analog horror creators on the platform, has made remakes of Squimpus and McGrimpus' FNAF tapes, and while these tapes are some of the scariest and creepiest out there, they are remakes. They're not an original idea. That's why when we get something new like Valox's take on FNAF, or the Greylock series, or even something as most recent as White Stag Education, it's extremely refreshing. We get to experience something new and exciting instead of something that we felt like we've seen before. But then again, what do I know? I'm just a guy sitting in a chair talking to a screen. That's just my opinion on the current state of analog horror. From the humble and horrific beginnings of No Through Road, to the televised terror of Local 58 and Gemini Home Entertainment, to the pop culture icons of the Mandela Catalog and the Walten Files, to the new gems of Greylock and Valox, and to the mishmash of recycled ideas that is the current state of analog horror and everything in between. I really do hope this niche continues on in the future, as it's one of the most interesting and entertaining topics for me to talk about personally on the channel. But the future of it is very uncertain, and I don't know how much longer it's going to be. So I want to make it my mission to document every single analog horror that I find to be the most entertaining, the most scary, and the most valuable to teach us about what makes a good series on YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, scroll down and click on the subscribe button. It really does help the channel out a lot. Was there a series you would like to see me cover next? Comment it down below and I'll be sure to check it out. I will see you in the next one.